What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam. Welcome back to another Theory Time. And today we are going to be discussing the announcements from San Diego Comic-Con that Robert Downey Jr., RDJ, Iron Man himself, is back. But not quite as Iron Man. He's going to be back as Doomsday, Dr. Doom in Avengers Doomsday. And the real question coming out of not only San Diego Comic-Con, but also Deadpool and Wolverine, is who is the MCU's anchor being? Now, I have some theories, and that's what we'll be discussing today. But I also have some images from San Diego Comic-Con of the Fantastic Four that I wasn't originally going to show, but then they plastered themselves all over the internet yesterday and have slowly been getting taken down for copyright. So hopefully this video doesn't, but just some images that we saw at San Diego Comic-Con. This was a thing from direct.com, and it's kind of like almost like a fan, you know what I mean, like one of those fans you wave, and it's got the Fantastic Four, then Sue Storm, Explorer, the Invisible Woman, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Scientists, Ben Grimm, The Thing, Protectors, Johnny Storm, Human Torch, Heroes. So interesting that they're each in their own little category of Explorer, Scientists, Protectors, and Heroes. And they each have like their little silhouettes, but it's not like necessarily them. But like, you know, one guy's stretchy, one Miss Invisible Woman over there has got like little dash lines to show that she's invisible. Ben Grimm looks like, you know, rocky and thick. Human Torch looks like a little bit on fire, you know, so little interesting little details there. But in the test footage that they showed, and it's shocking how good this test footage looked, because they only filmed for like a day, 2 days, maybe 3 days at the most before San Diego Comic-Con, and it was all like mostly test footage and stuff like that, like previs, stuff like that that's been going around. And if he made it look that good in 3 days, think about what he can do over the next year for this movie. So I'm thoroughly hyped, and I'm thinking they're going to film this movie pretty quickly, and then it's just going to be down to visual effects on, you know, the stretching, on the Rockman, and that's what's going to take the majority of the time till next year. But, like I was saying, the previs, they already started some of this stuff this year, and Fantastic Four is now called the Fantastic Four First Steps, and I believe that's supposed to be like a 60s moon landing, first steps on the moon type of idea for that title, because we see Ben Grimm over there is a full spaceman, and all four of them are in space suits, and we slowly saw shots throughout the trailer that said, you know, their names on their space suits. But they opened up on Mr. Fantastic teaching a class, talking about some super nerdy stuff, and then the kids aren't listening. He goes, "You guys want to see an explosion?" And then they all friggin' turn around. But I just think it's hilarious that Pedro is Mr. Fantastic, and he's the scientist, and Mr. Fantastic, I think, is known as like a full white guy, and Pedro's bringing some Latino to the MCU, right? Like, you know, some Spanish vibes. I still remember him as Javier Pena from Narcos. He fucking killed it as that role. That's where that mustache really was the most prominent. But hey, Mr. freaking Fantastic, Reed Richards himself. There's also a point in the trailer where they're playing like a mystery date single matchmaking game, and the lady contestant chooses contestant number 3, and we saw this image of the silhouettes of what looks like Mr. Fantastic, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm over there, but it's Ben Grimm as the Rock form, the Thing, and we don't necessarily see him, but we see a little bit of lighting on his hands, and that looks pretty good, and just like the overall thickness of him looks about right. Like, he doesn't, you know, look crazy big, doesn't look crazy small, but looks about right, you know, and I love Ebon Moss-Backrack, so for the Bears, you know, the bear cousin is going to be the Thing. I'm into it, man, I really am. And I'm a sucker for a love story. I say this all the time on the channel when I'm talking about movies, but the shots of Vanessa Kirby and Pedro Pascal, not only in the trailer, but on stage at Comic-Con, and then in the interviews afterwards, I think these two are actually in love. You know what I mean? Like, I think they might end up being a cute little couple here, even if it is just in the movies or in real life. I'm cool with either, because man, are they gorgeous together, and they both just can't stop staring each other deeply in the eyes like it is true friggin' love. And over the next year of them filming together, I don't know, man, this is gonna be a wonderful couple to see on screen and bring back some love to the MCU, and not necessarily the way that like Chris Evans' Fantastic Four did Johnny or Mr. Fantastic in The Invisible Woman. I really want to see Sue and Reed in this full love story really happen, you know what I mean? And I hope it is at the forefront of this whole thing, because I'm already in love with the two of them. But the end of that Fantastic Four trailer ended with a quick little teaser shot of what looks like the Baxter Building and Galactus's eyes leaning in. Now, Galactus is supposed to be a world eater, so if he's leaning in a skyscraper, he wouldn't be world-sized, you know what I mean? Like, he should be almost Arishem the Judge-sized, celestial-sized. But here, you know, people have, that's the one complaint people are saying, like, what the hell, why is he able to look into this building like this and be this close? But I don't know if this will actually be a shot from the movie, maybe this is just a teaser shot, but that shot alone got me like, alright, I don't care what happens in this movie. It's 60s Fantastic Four, Pedro Pascal, Ebon Moss-Bachrach, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, Matt Shackman's at the helm. It's 60s vibes. They're gonna have a Galactus, and they might also have a Robert Downey Jr. Doomsday, Doctor Doom. Like, huh? Okay, I'm in. I don't care. And then they also showed some things from the Captain America Brave New World, and I love the poster of him holding the cap shield, and they made a shirt out of it. Oh, you know I had to get this one. I was like, every time new rock stars and nerdriot.shop, you know, if you want the shirts for yourself, go check them out. That's not a sponsor, but hey, for free ad, you're welcome. But every time they come out with a shirt, I'm like, I have too many, I can't get any more. And then they come out with dope ass designs like this. Like, that's so cool. How could I pass up on that? Like, fuck. Keep coming out with good designs, people, and I'm gonna keep buying them. But come out with some shit, and I won't. But I also just got the Agatha one. There was also a little sketch Deadpool one. It's just really cute stuff. But I'm just like, my wardrobe is a completely nerdriot.shop fucking nerdy t-shirts, and I'm not mad at it at all. A woman in my life might be pissed, but hey, fuck them. Like, if they don't like the nerdy shit, then they're not gonna like me, and fuck them. I'm okay. I'll be single. I got nerds to talk like you guys. We can talk about the nerdiness, yeah. But Captain America Brave New World looks really good, and apparently that trailer, that and Thunderbolts are the only ones I didn't see leak online. And apparently in the Captain America Brave New World trailer, they show Thaddeus Ross hulking out behind the podium at the White House and like rising up, and they show Harrison Ford's face. Like, I'm waiting for that trailer to leak online. And also the Thunderbolts trailer was apparently really good, showing all the different type of people there. But you guys stuck around for the title of this video. The main thing that we want to talk about today, though, is the anchor being of the MCU. Right? So is Doctor Doom now, Robert Downey Jr., going to be the anchor being of this 60s Fantastic Four universe? Is Galactus going to eat that universe, and that's how that Fantastic Four will end up in the MCU? Also a possibility. But we know that the Russo brothers are going to be doing back-to-back 2026 and 2027 Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. So if Logan is the Fox Universe Earth 1005 anchor being for that universe, and anchor beings die off and it could take 1,000 years for that universe to end, or maybe collide with another universe because that character is no longer there, maybe causing an incursion. All I'm saying is the interconnectivity of the multiversal saga might end up making more sense than it has so far, and people might just be too close to the forest, you know what I mean? Like, we've only seen Phase 4 recently, and we haven't seen Phase 5, 6 in the future of this shit yet, and we really don't know where it's heading or how it's going to play out, so people are just mad and stewing in their bullshit right now. I think it's connecting a lot more than we think. I think Deadpool and Wolverine are going to connect us into the MCU somehow through the TVA, through Deadpool, through Wolverine, through the anchor being, through Earth 1005. And I'm thinking potentially that Deadpool stuff could lead us to a Avengers versus X-Men, and it will be Earth 1005 versus 616, and it will be Incursion in the winner universe lives type thing, or maybe the fight won't have a clear winner and they'll get sucked into a battle world where Doctor Doom creates a battle world, and that Doctor Doom will be Robert Downey Jr. and he'll create this battle world maybe in the void, and we'll get to have out some Secret Wars battle world type shit. And I don't know if that's going to be the idea, but it certainly could be. And just, you know, brief spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine, not anything too crazy, but there's one scene where they're fighting in the minivan and Wolverine gives a hell of a monologue and shuts up Deadpool for the first time ever. We see him like speechless, and just the only thing Deadpool says afterward, he goes, "You got nothing to say, mouth?" And this is what Deadpool has to say back.
"I'm gonna fight you now."
It cracked me up so much in the theaters. He just real calmly and quietly just, "I'm gonna fight you now." You know, and he's just like, "What?" And he laughs at him, and then he just punches him in the face, and then the all-out battle ensues. But also, you know, if you don't want to see this, skip ahead. But Wolverine's full cowl, right? The full Wolverine suit and the cowl. Comment below, how are we feeling about this? Do we like it? I've now seen Deadpool Wolverine twice. My initial watch, I thought the white eyes like Deadpool has on the Wolverine suit, and I know that's comic book accurate and animated accurate, but in live action, originally I was like, the white eyes look a little weird, the cowl looks weird, it looks CG, it looks a little weird. But the second time around, it looked a little bit more like he was actually wearing it. The eyes are still white, but the second time around, it grew on me even more, and I was like, wow, I actually love this, and I can't believe we're seeing Hugh Jackman in the yellow and blue, in the cowl, in the MCU, killing a whole bunch of Deadpools, you know, like, it's incredible. And like, he goes, "Wow, you wait to pull out the cowl for cool shit," and he goes, "Killing mostly." You're like, yes, it works. And then the closing shot of Deadpool and Wolverine before the post-credit scene is Deadpool's mask and Wolverine's mask on a box of Feige's Famous Pizza, right? And that's kind of like one of the first things we saw Deadpool in, and Deadpool 1 was Feige's Famous Pizza. Coming full circle for that Deadpool trilogy, but they also tease in that movie that this is just the beginning for them. So where are they going to be going? Where are they going to be showing up next? Maybe with Hunter B-15 and the TVA working for them type of thing. Maybe Deadpool and Wolverine will both be these cameos that can show up at any point in any movie. I would personally love that. I don't know if that's what they'll do, because every time one of those characters shows up, they'll have to pay Hugh and Ryan a boatload of cash. But it's interesting to think about, you know, Logan being the anchor being of the MCU, and then they get another Wolverine from a different universe, and now that universe is healed. So now is that new Logan the new anchor being for that universe? Or maybe is Deadpool and Wolverine both the anchor beings for that universe? But I'm thinking about the MCU now. 616. Is Tony Stark dying in Endgame us losing our anchor being? Very well, possibly. He was the first MCU movie, you know, like, it makes a lot of sense that he would be the MCU anchor being, and maybe that's why a Tony Stark variant is Doctor Doom in the Avengers movies and the Fantastic Four and whatever else he comes up in. That would make a lot of sense. But is it Captain America? The captain of the team, he also died, or not died, but left and isn't in the universe anymore, and now he's an old man, so we lost Captain America. Steve Rogers, at least, as maybe a possibly anchor being. I'm thinking it could be both of them, maybe one or the other, or it could be two other options. So I'm going to present to you 4 options. Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Doctor Strange. Is it potentially Doctor Strange is the anchor being? Now, we haven't lost him, but he did get corrupted a bit by the Darkhold, and he started to have fingertips, and eye came out of his forehead, and then he links up with Clea and goes and fights an incursion at the end of that, and it looked like he was going into the dark dimension. So where does Doctor Strange show up next? Could he be fucking over the universe by going into too many different universes, causing incursions, whatever. I'm still interested to see where he's at. Or is it a fourth possibility? Someone else that is supposedly dead in the MCU, and it could be the Scarlet Witch, Wanda. Is Wanda Maximoff the MCU anchor being? Is she died underneath the rock? Is she in the void? Is she anywhere else? You know, like, is she in a different universe? Is she, you know, she could be anywhere. We know she was crazy powerful, also corrupted by the Darkhold, but she also destroyed all the Darkholds at the end of that movie. And we also know from the comics that Wanda said, you know, shh, no more mutants, and then all of a sudden they all died or whatever. I don't know, maybe right in reality, Scarlet Witch could potentially be a big character here. But comment below your thoughts on all this. Who do you think is the MCU anchor being? And I would love to hear from you beautiful people in the comment section below. If you want to follow me on my other social medias, links down in the description. But if you want to support me and the channel and you've made it this far in the video, I highly appreciate you. Please like this video, comment below if you're new, subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss future videos, and I will see you beautiful people in the next video. Peace.